You're an EVP, meaning you're not just on-air talent. You're a part of the structure of the company. You hold an executive position. To come out on television, live, and shit on the formatting of the show and everyone else that will participate in said formatting by saying there's already enough talking on this show. And the next two segments immediately following is MJF doing an interview and then Jeff Jarrett starting an angle, but also cutting a promo. And now Chris Jericho is cutting a promo. Doesn't that seem counterproductive?
I'll stop when you start lying.
I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, you just shit on the show for real. Like, not on some cute, like, is it a work, is it a shoot type thing. Like,
you got active. You went out of your way to talk shit.
Like, I don't get it. Like, how is CM Punk the problem in that? In that situation, those 4 or 5 personalities, how is CM Punk the problem?
Wouldn't this be the equivalent of giving away 3 finishes? You came out and said there's already gonna be enough talking on this show. So now the fans in attendance, especially when 2 of the 3 segments that were in question were backstage, the fans in attendance already got shit on for that. You might as well have said, we're not gonna have a match for 20 minutes, for 30 minutes. We're not gonna have a match. You're gonna see people, but we're not gonna have a match.
But Pete, here's the part that makes it even worse. You're not just shitting on the talent that's going to perform after you. You're shitting on the guy who wrote and formatted the show. The audience of 1. And there's only 1 booker in the building. So you're gonna backhand whatever work Tony Khan put in to make this show happen. Or whoever else helped put it together. Maybe that's a shot. Maybe because Jeff Jarrett's there, he's helping, get the show streamlined. Possibly a Sanjay Dutt who's written TV before. Like, you're just shitting on people for absolutely no reason. Well, you have a reason because you're a fucking egomaniac. Which is the shit that started the whole CM Punk thing any fucking way. Passive aggressive egomaniac ho shit.
We look forward to things because they seem like they may be fun, but it's not fun anymore. It will be. It will be again right. Soon, but it's just not fun anymore.
Yeah, it'll be fun for me when Phil Brooks breaks his silence.
Do you think he's going to?
I'm certain of it. Look, I'm rarely wrong with this shit. Like, let's just keep it a G. Just for real. How many times have I really been wrong? I admitted when I was wrong about Hangman Page. I admitted that one. Strike that one on from my record, or just attach it however you want to do it. But with these scenarios, especially the ones where we have no intel, nobody at ground zero who's telling us, the recipes for the soup. How many times have I or we been wrong?
Not at all. I don't believe.
Like, sometimes like you'll say some shit and it'd be so fucking wrong that it's glaring and you remember it. It's like, damn, that motherfucker's super wrong. Like, how many times have I or we done that? That's all I'm saying. So with that, I am 100% certain that at some point, Phil Brooks will speak on this.
Order
question
leg.
The question is, what platform will it come from?
He doesn't strike me as a podcaster anymore.
He doesn't, but if a motherfucker come up with the right price and say,
I would say if there's a cash grab involved, it makes all the sense in the world to sit there and just talk for an hour.
And this is a guy who does not need money. So the only thing that's going to stop him from telling his side of the story is an NDA. If there's an NDA, then he won't. If there's no NDA, I'm 100% certain at some point he will. Even if there is, and here's the other caveat, even if there is an NDA in place, I guarantee you, if he's on someone's wrestling television, he's going to find a way to say it without saying it.
And on that note, let's get this motherfucker moving. Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast and radio show infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
Made daily with organic, farm to table, localized, neuralized, sterilized, Scotch guarded for 2020 repellent, available online, shipped via Amazon, not available on Sundays, but now available on thebeastradio.com. Broken Pencil Logic. You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
Hey, yo!
Listen.
Listen!
Hey, fucking listen, bro.
Listen! Yo!
Just listen. So many problems would be solved if you just listen.
We are recording this live as Dynamite is taking place in front of us on Wednesday, December the 14th. Year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
I said year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
2022.
Hey, man.
Shouts out to DJ Tony Snow. Hopefully he's better now. That man's been dealing with some shit under the weather, and he's one of the
snowman, bitch.
You can't ban the snowman.
Can't do it. And
we were trying to get him on for this episode, but you know, as the brutal illness gods have it, they've got him taken out. But he'll be back here real
back,
soon.
Snowman.
We got a lot to talk about. Something that we have been purposely waiting for the right time to go ahead and get off our chest as we let it air out. Let's get this shit out the way right now. Sports related, not wrestling related.
Wait, I thought we had a money lead in that was going to tie in with this.
Money lead in?
Yeah, we had some story about somebody's money. Oh, that WWE was, I guess the news, air quotes, re-broke that talent weren't going to be getting pay-per-view bonus. That's what it was for Survivor Series.
There you go.
They're not getting pay-per-view bonus. Well, there are no pay-per-views. There are no PLE bonuses. Right. Which I kind of understand because there's no extra money.
I mean,
it's just the same. It's the same people buying tickets to a show as if it was Raw, and then there's the subscriptions from Peacock. There's no extra money to give you.
This ain't the 90s where people were flocking to Hooters to go check out WWE, then pay-per-views.
This ain't the $29.99, $39.99, $49.99 era of blue scrolling TV guide. Call this 1-800 number. Make sure you have a phone line plugged into the back of your receiver. Now I'm ready to watch pay-per-view.
Like that hit the red button shit was a flex.
Fam. If you had the throwback DirecTV button and all you had to do was press the yellow button 2 times and you ready to roll?
Out of here.
What people have told me, you are shitting in high cotton.
This is when you enjoy what you have for the moment and get your ass handed to you when that bill come in the mail. You start trying to figure out what the hell happened and why is your bill $48 higher. Well, you know why. You pressed that button. At any rate.
Right. I mean, you already know it's coming. Like, you know the budget for it.
But also, like, those who are under old agreements already have a bag attached. And I would dare say a nice one. You're also getting things like merchandise incentives. Like you have things that are being loaded into your contract that newer contracts allegedly don't have.
Yeah, newer contracts are, if you sign for $1 million, that's what you're earning. There's no the downside guarantee is over. It's just a guaranteed contract. There's no, I'm my base salary is $750, but with X number of dates wrestled plus merchandise plus pay-per-view bonuses, I could be, 7 figures. I could be my downside guarantee is 6 figures, but with all the other intangibles, it could be 7 figures. Those days don't exist. Unless you have one of those old deals or you're says, fuck it, I'm going to negotiate with that in mind. I would feel like somebody like Roman would put that in there.
He's one. I was say he's one of maybe 3 talents, and I'm going to name the 3. Roman, Randy, Miz. You may not like Miz.
Add Seth.
You think Seth is going up that high? Actually, no. You know what? No. You're right. Add Seth. You're right. Add Seth.
Well, we're listing. Wait, what are you listing people for? Because I'm listening for. I think I'm listing them for a different reason.
Okay. Confirm.
I'm listing these people that, in a contract situation, either have or would be able to request funding from merchandise sales. Like they would still have that on top of their guarantee. So
Miz, I think could do it. I don't think that he has the merch for it. AJ, well, we can add AJ because AJ brought the same logo that he's had for the last 15 years to WWE with him, which was, I've never seen that happen before.
Well, let's keep it G. Nobody has super fire ass merch except maybe Street Profits. New Day had a stretch where they had dope ass merch. The Bloodlines got dope merch. And then everybody else might get a cool t-shirt. The Miz's My Balls Are Massive, that shirt probably is selling the fuck out. But just being real, like there's not a lot of super fire merch. There's just stuff that you like every so often. And then you get somebody like me, it's like, bro, how many black t-shirts am I gonna buy?
And then there's that. So but
keep the mixtape. Who else could make that request and negotiate? I want merch money. I want a percentage of my merch.
All right, so Roman, because he is the tribal chief, the head of the table, your Universal Grand Champion, your WWE Grand Champion, and he has he's the face of the company. Whether people like it or not, he's the upper echelon. Randy Orton,
no argument.
Randy Orton, he's this generation's Undertaker. He's the locker room leader. He's the veteran in the locker room. The only person within the company that has been there any longer, the same amount of time, would be Brock Lesnar and John Cena, but they left. Orton's been there the entire time.
And you can also add those 2 people to the mixtape. Anytime they sign anything new as far as their agreement, they're going to want percentage of merch money. Or they should.
Miz for longevity.
I can see that.
He's been there. He's been through the trenches. He's homegrown talent.
He's tenured.
Definitely. Seth, because of his contributions to
Facts.
Raw and SmackDown.
Facts.
You can take away NXT. You can take away FCW. It doesn't even matter.
Seth done brought back the Coco Beware shades on TV. It's just I agree with that one.
3 years ago, we were calling him Kung Fu Panda. Even gave him theme music. This man's a drip god.
Okay, sure.
For TV purposes. For TV purposes.
I mean, everybody likes what they like. I'm not gonna assassinate anybody's taste. Who else can go? Bray Wyatt.
So,
before you go into a dissertation about why it mightn't work, remember the Fiend and the merchandise that was sold.
I was just about to say, only for the stuff that he creates, his intellectual property, which I would dare have written into the contract some language that states that anything Fiend related belongs to him. Anything Bray Wyatt.
That's complete ownership of a concept. I'm saying Bray Wyatt is a big enough entity right now for what's going on in Stamford that in the contract he could say, I'll take whatever the number is you're giving me annually, but I want a piece of my merchandise.
I liken this return, and I agree with you. I liken this return to when Angle went out to train for the Olympics in 2012, came back and then tried to work his way up from the bottom.
I think Bobby Lashley is probably big enough to make that request and get it. Now, does he get fire ass merch? Nah. Exactly. but star power wise, is he in a position where he can make that request and then put some emphasis on having merchandise?
I think so. The last 5 years that he's been back, it has been 5 at this point, right? Coming up on so. 5.
I think so. So 17, 18, 19. Nah, he got to be at least a 6-piece.
So, he came back after we started the show, right?
Yeah. Well, so it would still be 2017.
2018. He came back. We started the show in 2018.
We started the show in 2017.
March of 2018.
You are tripping.
I will bet you $100 on that right now that we started the show March of 2018.
I'm not betting you shit, because if you saying Bobby Lashley came back in 2018, I already know we off point.
So let me see when Bobby Lashley returned. That's my question, is when he returned. I'm not questioning when we started the show. I know when we started the show.
Either way, six piece fried hard. We're not gonna waste too much time on this. 6 piece. He been back for 6. He been balling on the hoe for at least the last 3 super strong.
Ball 2018. So it was. So it was right after we started.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah. So these 5 years to me have meant more than his first 3 years that he had with the company. Regardless of what happened in between time with, Impact, TNA, whatever you want to call it, or Bellator, his last 5 years to WWE have been more impactful than his first 3 years were when he came into the company.
That's an interesting discussion, because for all intents and purposes, that 3 years, it does include a WrestleMania main event that involved
yes,
a lot of people.
A gang member.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a gang member, and then several participants in organized crime. So it's a gangster party.
That was the 2007 WrestleMania
23 was a fucking gangster party. So like, you're a co-main event for that. I can't necessarily think of anything else that's like super impactful from that. ECW champion.
ECW champion, yeah.
WWE ECW is not something I associate with the ECW I love. 2 different things.
The only other thing that he had going for him, if you remember, he had an undefeated streak for almost a year.
So yeah, I mean, you're right, because he's in the last 5, he's main evented WrestleMania once.
I mean, he's been with Leo Rush, which was a hell of a run. He's been with we can forget the whole Lana shit.
That's part of what puts, kind of makes it like these last 5, everything about these last 6, everything about these last 6 ain't exactly been roses, but these last 3, now if you put these last 3 against his first 3, by far,
yeah, not even close.
Period. Not even close.
I mean, Hurt Business twice.
You could put Hurt Business the first time versus the first 3 is like.
Listen, you can put his first Hurt Business run against damn near any run.
Facts. The half-ass reboot that they tried when he was beefing with Goldberg that never quite materialized all the way. I don't recognize that.
Yeah.
You know, that ain't that. No. Real recognize real, and you looking kind of unfamiliar. So I feel like Bobby could make that request though.
I don't think anybody else gets that. And if we're going to add one more to the mix, New Day. I mean,
obviously,
yeah.
Obviously, yeah. Anything involving New Day, like if any, that's kind of crazy though. Like, well, I take that back because all 3 of them, they sign contracts. They're literally synced up on the clock, so they all sign at the same time. So yes, they're more than capable of making that request.
The only one who may be off right now, maybe Big E.
Well, they all re-signed at the same time. So,
but
talent-wise,
but the injury clause that I call it the Luke Harper clause.
Look, they did that shit to Luke Harper because he was requesting to leave at the same time AEW was doing their shit. They didn't know what AEW was gonna be. And I guarantee you, Big E will not have a rollover clause if he ever becomes in-ring talent again. Do you know the shitstorm that would come from that?
I mean,
yeah, let that shit breathe.
That's delicate.
You took a fucking world champion and put him in the ring with a rookie in what is an accident, a work accident, and Ridge Holland has been, he's been contrite. He's, handled his business and walked his dogs about this. But dump him on his head on a concrete floor with about what we're gonna call 3.5 to 4 inches of padding.
We'll say 2.
It
don't even matter because that man's damn near 300 pounds and came crashing down on the top of his head. Like, I don't give a shit how much padding you got.
And break that man's neck in a place so severe and so sensitive that if he hear a song he like, he gotta take it easy.
A smaller person, we're having a whole other conversation about him.
Let that shit breathe. If he hear a song he like, he gotta take it easy. The ability, the fucking C1. That's the bitch right up under the skull. If motherfucking Busta Rhymes come on, if Busta Rhymes break your neck come on, horrible choice. But if that song comes on, you can't participate.
Yeah.
And then you gonna tell me when my fucking contract run out and it's time for me to either do like the ambassador deal or the legends deal or just another version of a talent contract, possibly move into like some commentary shit, and you gonna tell me I gotta, or just fuck it, I'm done, period. You gonna make me serve the time I've been sitting? Boy, fuck you.
So we bring all that up, all this money talk up, to talk about Coach Prime.
GOAT Prime.
GOAT Prime goes from the broadcast booth to coach Jackson State University, HBCU. For those not in the know, historically black college and university, arguably one of the greater athletic programs all around throughout the Southwest Atlantic Conference, also known as the SWAC.
Shout out my guy C. former running back.
1AA squad. coaches them to an undefeated season. And upon his, I guess, star power to bring millions of dollars worth of commerce into the city of Jackson, to break SWAC attendance records game after game
that he didn't get paid for.
That he did not get paid for.
Because we doctoring the numbers at the door.
To have among the highest attendances per game in Division I football. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about ranked up there with the powerhouses of like Ohio State, Michigan. Now, mind you, the stadium's not that big. It's not nearly the size of like
the capacity's not the same.
But to be consistently ranked among the higher in attendance in all of Division I football is a feat within itself. He brings top recruits from colleges who have signed blue chippers to scholarships, brings them into Jackson to decommit from their D1A schools to come to the powerhouse schools to come to a SWAC school. Mm-hmm. Even brings his son to the school.
Displaying the power of influence.
And for him to take a powerhouse in a conference that's viewed as less than and turn them into something of national revel. Like people are looking at this school. Jackson State had games on ESPN. They got other schools. There are 9 schools in the SWAC, I believe. And I turn on randomly and see the school that I went to, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, on a syndicated, nationally televised game against Florida A&M, new to the SWAC, mind you. Florida A&M is. I'm watching this game on the same day Jackson State's playing Jackson State's playing Southern rather on ESPN, and we have people up in arms because Goat Prime has graced his presence on NFL Game Day on ESPN, which is a very highly coveted. Like when game day is at your school, people show up and show out.
Yep.
What does he get for his efforts? He gets rewarded by being able to be a top tier recruitable coach to a failing former powerhouse program at the University of Colorado, the Buffaloes.
Shout out Cordell Stewart, rest in peace, Rashad Salam.
He goes from a $300,000 per year contract to correct me if I'm wrong, it's $5 million a year?
$5 million a year, a guaranteed $200,000 raise every year. And apparently there is a list of benchmarks that if he is able to hit those within a certain time period, there is a potential for a 40% raise after that.
This is a program that went 1-11 this year. Their quarterback had a total of 600 yards on the year. Not his fault. 2
wins is a complete improvement.
It's a 100% improvement.
Yeah, anything after 2 wins is like he's saved the program.
Literally brought it back from his lowest point. When he pulls it off.
Win, absolutely.
And he was at Jackson State, 2 years?
Yes, 2 years of a 4-year contract. 4-year contract paying $300,000 a year.
And he has to pay back the last 2 years.
Half. Well, he has to pay half of the remaining contract, which is basically
1 year.
Paying for 1 year.
Now, the argument comes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get to the argument here in a second.
What argument?
There are pundits who argue this.
Fuck them.
I agree.
This ain't for them.
I agree.
This ain't for them. At its lowest common denominator, it's a promotion. Like if you take all of the other shit, all of the accusations that are being made by the pundits and Gen Pop and all of the court of public opinion that operates on the internet, take that out, and then take out everything that has become public about the relationship between Deion Sanders and the university. Take everything away from it. Look at it at its lowest common denominator. It's a promotion.
Suave, have you ever...
It's a person...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. It's a person leaving one job for another job in the same field that pays more. It's a promotion, or it's not even a lateral move. It's an upward move. But go ahead.
You also bring on people that you had on your staff
who weren't being paid properly,
who will now see the biggest financial opportunity they have ever seen this side of playing professional ball.
Factual.
Suave, let me ask you a question real quick.
Shoot.
Because money-wise, I already know the answer to this question. And if the answer to this question related to money and the increase of funds for doing the same job at a different location for that much of an increase is any different than what my answer is, this is our last podcast.
Okay.
I know it's not. Therefore, I don't have to say anything. That said, have you ever known firsthand the feeling of having your home, or at the very least your car, broken into?
Car, yes. Home, no, because I don't have any justifiable homicides on my record. But yes, car, absolutely.
I've had the misprivilege of coming home once knowing who did it and watching my merch, or what became of my merch, drive away across 4 states afterwards.
That should make you want to take a road trip.
You dig? And
or a quick flight. I'll meet you where you at.
Couldn't do anything about it. And then the next time, I remember getting off the school bus right before. Actually, it was the Friday that we let out for the holiday break. And I come home and see my door is literally kicked off the hinges. And there may have been even a third time. There may have been even a third time at this house. And it's not a feeling that I want to ever feel again, ever in life.
Right.
Especially now being older of age, there are things that come along with this. That said, GOAT Prime, while coaching a football game for his beloved university, Jackson State, not his alma mater, but that's who pays him. So that's, I'm gonna call him Clay.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to the locker room for a post-game press conference after putting a lashing on some opponent, and he can't even celebrate because while he was coaching this game, some kids broke into his office and stole everything that was of substance to him: his jewelry, his wallet, credit cards, cash. Multiple times they broke into his son's car. And this is all, like, I've always told, help those who help themselves. He's already helping people to help themselves. But these degenerates helped themselves at the most opportune time that they could have, for someone who was doing way more than he could have to give back to a university. The only thing they did was give him a coaching job. Why in the fuck does anybody chastise GOAT Prime for leaving for a better opportunity to provide, regardless of what he already had in his pockets? You don't know what's in his wallet. no Capital One. You don't know what's in his wallet. So why are you in it when it comes time for him to leave a black school for a predominantly white university in a powerhouse conference? Number two, there are people who are talking about this, asking these questions like, why did he leave? And saying that he's a sellout when they never even had the I guess the I can't say audacity, or I can't say the trials, but there's definitely a path that comes with going to an HBCU. Everybody has had a story at an HBCU that's going to an HBCU. Hell, I've had a few of them.
Hell, I didn't go to one and I have a couple stories.
You see what I'm saying? Like, have you ever tried to see what the financial aid process looks like in HBCU? And mind you, I didn't have financial aid. I didn't have loans or grants.
Nope.
And just being able to have to go back from building to building and deal with one of maybe three people and hope that you know somebody or they know who your parents are or something to that effect, where you can actually get a leg up and actually get the help that you deserve to have, versus being talked at and looked down upon because you're just another ne'er-do-well, versus going to a predominantly white university and having their financial aid center look like a damn call center. You look like you're going to CarMax. And that's a compliment. I don't understand why we as black people.
I'll tell you why.
We as black people are doing everything we can to tear down the opportunity to say things like, here we are back at ground zero. Oh, so the last 2 years didn't matter. The fact that he's bringing coaches along with him and players along with him to give them better opportunities to learn and grow and become players. Go ahead, Suave.
So you asked why. And before I even get into speaking about the inner workings of our community, because I have an issue with that, but that's separate, and I'll address that after this. We live in a time in the world. Now, mind you, this is again, I'm taking race, religion, sexual orientation, taking all that out. We live in a time and in a world where we look at athletes, entertainers, or anyone who comes into a windfall of financial breakthrough. But in particular, actors, actresses, athletes, entertainers, rappers, singers, those types. People who are on television, famous, and also have the perception of having great financial stability. We live in a time where those people are looked at by the general population, or Gen Pop as I call them. They are looked at in a light that means no matter how they got to that point, they owe everybody else. So regardless of whatever work you put in, whatever you sacrificed to get to that point, however long you had to hone your craft, whatever disappointments you went through, once you get your breakthrough, you now owe us, because somehow we're going to claim responsibility for your success. So now you have a generation that is entitled to the success and the fruits of other people's labor. That whole line that got famous a few years ago, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. It's real. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym. If and when I choose to give back, that's my choice. How much or how little, it's my choice. Whether or not I even publicize it, my choice. So the conversation of counting the man's pockets and being upset because he took another opportunity. He paid his way out. So you can't say he just left him and then, whatever situation. Not to mention the fact that him leaving opened an opportunity for another person who was not making that kind of money.
Come on, man.
So now the next coach who's been named, who was also on the staff already with those kids putting in work, now he has an opportunity to move into another tax bracket. With the blessings of Dion, blessings of the university, he, even during the process of him accepting the job at Colorado, he said, look, this is who I think should be the next coach. You already know who my feeling is. Luckily enough, that person who was highly recommended by the NFL Hall of Famer is now the coach. So now he is reaping the benefits, and now he can pay it forward with the next group of people that he brings along, the next group of kids that he coaches, the next group of staff members that he brings on to start making money doing something that they love to do. And it's not just volunteer work. Even if at different points during Dion's tenure, his staff wasn't even making substitute teacher money. But this entitlement to other people's success, it's the thing that makes social media and the internet so fucking toxic. You sit in whatever space that you're sitting in, whether you're on a smartphone or a tablet or a laptop, in whatever financial condition that you are in, and you will dictate how another person should be spending, enjoying, and or donating their money. Meanwhile, you haven't held the door open for anyone in 6 months.
You probably spent more time leaning on it to make sure it stayed closed than you do opening it for anyone. So just that in itself, and that is not that's a blanket statement. That's not just a black community thing. That's not just a non-black community thing. It's a community thing.
That's a community thing. That's a blanket statement for the entire
commune.
Everybody.
All of them.
And you. just in case you listen and you thought you was exempt. No, and the motherfuckers.
We're specifically talking about you.
Specifically. So that frustrates me by itself, because you don't see the residual effects. All you see is somebody been telling you yes. They gave you the blueprint for what was possible, showed you how to implement that blueprint, and made you a believer. They show and prove, which is, that's hip hop terminology. Show and prove.
Go Prime. It goes without saying you have our unwavering support.
Right. Coach Goat Prime, show and prove, gave you the blueprint, executed the blueprint, and then passed the baton to the next person. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Look, my personal preference probably would have been for him to coach there 10 years, just because I like the vibe. However, can't knock that man's hustle.
If you can't pay him the way he deserves to be paid for the job that he's done, and you can't let him enjoy the benefits of coaching a championship game for the biggest opportunity that school will ever have at a serious bowl. I mean,
look, if the alumni not kicking in, the boosters ain't kicking in.
Hold on. Let's leave the school aside for a second. We lived through Snowmageddon 2021. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a pretty time here. And I don't know for how long it was for you, but for me it was 116 hours minus 1 strategically placed in the middle of that 116 without power. I never want for anyone to have to endure the ability to bathe in a college public swimming pool for the sake of the city's infrastructure not being above standard enough to withstand a storm.
Cool. 100% agree with you. That's one of those things, like, that's completely outside even the university's control. It's
within the city, which that city is a capital city. These are things that you don't expect in 2022.
All of the above, 100%. Just now, let's see. Did I finish my thought on Coach Prime? Coach Goat Prime, I have no argument about what he's chosen to do. I see what he's doing, but it to me, it immediately came off like you had somebody that had always told you yes or done for you when you couldn't do for yourself, or just provided you with opportunity after opportunity, answered every question, did everything the way you wanted it done. And then the one time you got a no, it was like they never did anything for you at all. And you had that type of smoke for them.
It's been happening since before us. It will continue to happen after us.
Which is the sad part.
I just hope somebody hears us and changes. Like, I don't want you to change your opinion. I want you to change your actions.
Right. Okay. You mad Dion left. Well, he gone. He ain't coming back. We want HBCU to be. Yeah, he gone. He ain't coming back. He not finna get that $5 million back, so you can let that go. So, okay, you want a superstar coach that's gonna give high profile attention? Motherfuckers saying they made Hove. Made Hove say, okay, so make another Hove.
That might be the most overquoted statement in this show's history, right there. That statement that you just made is James Brown, funky drummer to hip hop.
Facts. So now you have an opportunity. If Jackson State is your chosen team, matter of fact, I'll implore our community. Now I'm talking about us. I'll implore our community. Look at all the schools in the SWAC. If you didn't go to any of them, pick one. The one you pick is the one you rep for. Make somebody else famous.
That's something else I don't get. I don't get how people who went to school in the SWAC that have football programs be cheering for D1A powerhouse schools like they went there. Schools that wouldn't have you if you wanted to go there.
Then there's that part.
Like, I'm not knocking it. I just don't understand it.
Sports fandom is always some funny shit. It's just like I always had them weird ass moments when I'm like, motherfucker, you were born and raised in Dallas, Texas. You ain't never left this bitch. You ain't never put no money on a plane ticket to leave this bitch, but you rooting against the Cowboys and for the Philadelphia Eagles.
You know what? I was specifically about to say the Eagles.
Your country ass ain't never been to Philadelphia. And if you had been, and you had a little bit more knowledge about how Philadelphia operates, you might not be so quick to jump on that bandwagon.
Danger 2. Fruit of my loins. Firstborn son, if you will.
Fruit of my loins.
That boy, honors college student right now. You know, I can't say enough good things about that man.
Facts.
Grew up an Oklahoma fan. Currently attending Oklahoma State. What is the one thing you don't do at Oklahoma State while you attend Oklahoma State?
Wear University of Oklahoma merch.
That's part of it. That's one of them. The other thing is cheer for Oklahoma while going to Oklahoma State.
Same.
And that's what he does. He's also
on purpose.
like he ain't never left the house.
Nah, but no cap. That's also part of this current generational thing we're caught up in. Trolling is the new American pastime. It hasn't been baseball in decades.
He is the exception, not the rule. Anybody else, I would say, is trolling. I say this is just unmitigated passion, because and honestly, he's an Eagles fan, where he was a Saints fan, and this is when he finally started watching football. He was a Saints fan for a brief moment in time, but he has, like, by far attached himself to the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not mad at him because he has a firm belief system.
Cool.
It makes for great conversation.
Absolutely. But see, okay, because I'm technically guilty of this too. I grew up and I'm still a Miami Hurricanes fan.
Okay.
Because I saw Michael Irvin, I saw Russell Maryland, I saw
the same program I saw in Oklahoma in the 80s, you saw in the 90s. Go ahead.
If you go watch ESPN 30 for 30, the U part 1 and 2, I lived that watching it in real time. That was the kind of football I've always wanted to play. It looks fun, you dominate, and then you turn up during and after and before. So, lifelong Miami Hurricanes fan. Yes, I've been to Florida. Yes, I've been to Miami. But I don't have to clown University of Texas or Texas A&M or UTEP or University of North Texas. I don't have to troll any of those schools in the state for me to be a fan of the Miami Hurricanes.
Man,
I don't have to talk about you because we don't play each other. And that's the weird dichotomy that exists here. It's like, it's not only I like what I like, but I like what I like, and then I have to fuck over what you like, and I'm gonna talk about what you like more than I talk about what I like. Well, fuck you.
That's enough about that, man. We wanted to let that sit long enough for us to be able to.
I thought all the smoke had died off of it, but now
it's gone. It's gone. But here's some smoke. We were talking about money.
But one last thing. Hey, for our community, stop expecting everybody to do the most for you for the least. Everything's not gonna get done on like, oh, I see you trying, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you. No.
Can I add to that?
Please.
Stop expecting those who have the power to do things that you know that you would never do if given said power.
Boy. Like, okay, I've heard this before, and this isn't about anybody in our community, it's just in the community. Such and such has X billions of dollars. There are X number of people on planet Earth. Person A has enough money to give each person on planet Earth X amount of money and still have Y amount of money. So they should just give everybody that amount of money. The fuck did you put in on this? Am I gonna be able to write this shit off as a charitable donation, you fucking dependent? Like, stop making plans for world domination with other people's money.
And there's that. But speaking of plans for world domination and being in somebody else's pockets, bro, you ready for this one?
Run it.
Reports
we're gonna have a whole episode off this.
Reports have floated around today following a live version of NXT with a winner and new NXT Women's Champion and Roxy, aka Roxanne Perez. Shouts out because bitch, Texas. Dethroning Mandy Rose. But reports have circulated today that Mandy Rose is no longer employed by World Wrestling Entertainment. Not because she lost the match, but why she was allegedly forced to drop the title. It was supposed to go down at an NXT event coming up at the top of the year. But for whatever reason, they pulled the trigger early and then released her. The alleged reason is the fact that she had some explicit content, adult content behind the paywall of a fan site. Oh, excuse me, allergy. Holy fans. Oh, excuse me. That had gotten leaked out. And if it's what I saw, it's pretty racy. But there's apparently terms in the contract that were violated because this content got out. It could be, it's been discussed that it's because of the agreement that WWE has with Mattel, that the talent has with Mattel for its toys, that you can't.
Because you're going to be a fucking toy. In the store, children. You're going to be a toy. You're going to be an action figure. Not that you produced, not that you ordered, that the company you work for is in agreement with a toy manufacturer to produce. Go ahead.
And then also the fact that you can't make this money while you're signed to WWE because it falls under the social media guidelines.
I mean,
we haven't heard from Ryan in a month of Sundays, but I can tell you behind this one,
price just went up.
My dog. Hey, look, I'm slacking, but posts are coming to the official IG and all the social channels of BPBC. Hey, OG Ron been out here holding it down and flying the flag for the gang. Shout out to Jay Cargill and Ricky Starks. They know the gang.
A lot of fucking gang shit.
Jay Cargill,
I'm just saying, the hardest working man in sports, and can't nobody really convince me different. With your bitch ass. Now, motherfuckers can, bullshit ain't nothing. Motherfuckers can be mad that she was released. They can feel how they feel. They can argue about what's air quotes right, what's wrong about it. If the terms of your agreement do not allow for this particular group of circumstances to take place, and you knowingly continue to make this content in the midst of the bag that would potentially come from having an action figure manufactured by Mattel in retail stores, whether it be during the Christmas season or any other fucking season.
It could be chicken season.
It could be chicken seasoning. It's an egregious violation of Baggington Securitas. I get it. You like extra streams of income. Cool. You could, okay. Here's what I do know. The majority of the people that make up the ICW or
IWC.
There you go. The majority of the people that make up the IWC, because those are the people who are going to pay for online content for a WWE talent when they're offline. I'm 100% certain, there's that word again, 100% certain that the same people who were paying to get behind the paywall of the racy content you were doing would pay that same amount to get behind the paywall or whatever you decide to do.
I bet there are people that she was employed with who got behind that paywall.
Now that would just be stupid. I'm gonna pay you for some shit I see all the time. I'm on the road with you. That would just be stupid. I guess if you just, you want to high five your homie, like, hey, take this with you.
Yeah.
Just give them $10. But everybody who was already paid to get behind that paywall to see that content would have done so regardless of what the content was.
I can tell you this too. Anybody who didn't know about said paywall knows now, and they behind it just to see what the fucking fuss is for. Whatever bag she lost today, she got back in spades.
Now that part is true. Enjoy the windfall of money that is going to come from you producing this content. And if this happens to just say this opens the door to a change in career path,
God bless.
God bless. I mean, Godspeed to you. Get to the bag however you see fit.
Just know this is just like the sport that you just got out of. It has a closing
shelf
curtain.
Life.
There's a shelf life attached.
There's an expiration date on this milk.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I'm all right with this shit. There's an expiration date on the jug of milk. So in fall, reap the benefits, run the bag up. But for everybody else who feels like, cause I saw a meme and it was like, and it'll deal with, one of the stories we got coming up next. Person A, violates wellness policy, they go to rehab. Then they name another group of people, multiple DUIs. They get a push. Mandy Rose, and then they tried to simplify what she did and say she gets fired. This is not a privilege thing. This is a motherfucker, you messing the bag up for all of us.
Meanwhile, Natty Neidhart? She may not be in line for action figure this go around. But Mandy Rose, as far as wrestling and TV time and this, that, and the other, would you not agree that Mandy Rose has more tread on her tire than Natty Hart? Natty Neidhart? Definitely. And I would also say this. Natty's also thirst trapping too. There's a huge difference from thirst trapping to what Mandy was doing.
If it's racy content, it's all thirst trapping. It's just maybe different levels of it.
Okay, so same shit, way different level.
Same cake, different flavor.
There it is.
So you feel what I'm saying? Like, but that's not shade for Natty. That's not a slight. That's just looking at how long has Natty been wrestling? How much more in front of the camera time does she have versus Mandy, who, let's be honest, has not had her full potential exploited on television.
I mean, but the good thing is she was in the right place going back to NXT, because for some reason, for me, it didn't gel with me seeing her on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a career comparison. It's just like, okay, Natty is doing what she's doing on YouTube with her sister. She's not being used on television. I don't think she's in line for another action figure. At this point, I mean, unless she's just needed, how often are you going to see her wrestle anyway? She may be in a part to where she's transitioning out of a talent situation. That is absolutely not the case for Mandy Rose. And okay, what if Mattel had said, "Oh, one of the talents that we plan on trying to sell, plan on trying to make this action figure of." Because again, you got to look at the women's division and count how many of those women are bankable assets in a retail situation. And Mattel says, you know what? Between this, the shit that happened with Vince McMahon, and fuck it, it's Thursday. I got a wild hair in my ass. Fuck this deal. It's over. Then what? Then, I mean, like, seriously, like, then what? You done fucked off a bag for me that's that big, and I'm supposed to just be like, all right, we'll see you next week.
It can't happen.
Even if I fire you and rehire you 2 weeks from now, you cost us more money than you could make us. Think about that shit coming on off the heels of that Dion conversation.
That's different right there.
You cost me more money than you could ever make me.
That's different.
Like, for real. Like,
You
feel me on that.
You have to cut bags because you have to use resources to research, as opposed to finding out the hard way. All because you had to find out the hard way. Boy, that's different. That's different, Suave.
You might have stole, in the time you've been breaking in my office in my son's car, you might have stole $300,000 shit, because I got money like nice things. You might have stole $300,000 worth of jewelry. But day you caught me on. You've taken more from me than you could possibly give back. So if Mandy Rose had somehow caused that deal to fall through, you knew she wasn't going to remain employed. And to save face in the corporate world, that's how they do shit. People get sent home, even if they come back. William Regal.
Well,
how many explanations? How many examples of this do you need? Like Johnny Gargano fired, he's back. William Regal fired, he's back. Dexter Loomis fired, he's back.
In the interest of fairness with William Regal, he publicly said he was the only person to ever get a bag from WWE and AEW simultaneously. That's commendable. Number one. Two,
right.
He's also said that unless you hear from him, it ain't happened. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's not signed to WWE. That could also mean that he's not gone from AEW. Think about it for a second.
I think there's a photograph of him and Trips, Uncle Trips, and I think it's a new one.
Fine. Maybe so. That does not mean that he's still gone from AEW, especially with the alleged terms of this deal as per the mouth of Tony Khan.
I appreciate the stance of Regal. If you didn't hear from me, it's not true. And let's be perfectly real about it. Regal is from a time where we don't talk about shit. So we may never know until we know.
He spent 27 years not talking about shit, and we found out on fucking Dynamite, and he didn't want to say shit then.
Well, there's that. You see what I'm saying? Okay, Regal shut the fuck up. He ain't said shit. He ain't let you see shit. He ain't took pictures of shit. He ain't rolled no video or no shit.
Ain't no witnesses, bitch.
And guess what? No witnesses. He got 2 bags from 2 different companies in the same fucking year. There is something to be learned from shutting the fuck up.
Come on, Suave. I'm gonna give you a white collar in a second, a black robe, bruh. You better watch out.
All I'm saying is, like, what the fuck is? We have a failure to communicate. What is your major fucking malfunction? You think you can do whatever the fuck you want and ain't nobody gonna check you? Like, okay, totally unrelated. Draymond Green had a fan kicked out of a Milwaukee Bucks game for something that was said. And all you see in the comments under the post or the comment keyboard warriors that come out, oh, he's so soft, he can't take it, he's a crybaby.
Boy,
no, fuck you. Actions have consequences. If you're man enough to say something, you got to be man enough to deal with the repercussions of that.
And just be lucky. That's all he got was kicked out of the damn arena.
Right, because I'm not going to turn you into an overnight millionaire by beating the fuck out of you on live television. I'm going to have you escorted from the building. Now you understand that actions have consequences. You're going to have to stand on what you say. And when you say it, where you say it. Entitlement. You feel like because this person has financial stability and the illusion of fame that you can address them in any way you see fit with no consequences or repercussions. I know for a fact, anything I say about anybody, I gotta be ready to deal with. Good, bad, indifferent. That's just the way the world works.
As many thousands of tens of thousands of listens that we've had over the last 4 or 5 years, can you imagine if anybody were to bring smoke to us and the way we're talking right now? Because we talk like this in real life.
In real life, and everything we stand on. The chair slides back. The host stands up. Boy, fuck you.
All right.
Girl, fuck you.
Everybody.
Other, fuck you.
Where do we go from here? Do we go to Japan? Well, actually, no. I know where we need to go. Actually, no.
Like Street Fighter, Japan.
No, we got money talk. You said Japan.
We got money talk.
Yeah, no. So you said Japan. Let's go to Japan.
All right, money talk. Let's go to Japan. Japan. Dun, 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 dun.
I still had them damn sounds handy, boy. Yo,
Ready, fight.
Mercedes Varnado has been talked about damn near weekly since May. And it was stated that she and Trinity Fatu, aka Naomi, were on their way back to WWE. We haven't seen anything that says that they are edgewise. But one thing that we have seen in the last few days is the fact that whatever Ms. Varnado had going on, aka Sasha Banks, had going on with WWE, that has since fizzled out.
I'm not so certain.
I'm not so certain either. There's a reason why I'm not so certain. She's slated.
What's your reason?
She's slated to compete at Wrestle Kingdom.
Or appear.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, not compete. You're right. She's slated to appear at Wrestle Kingdom.
She'll be there in some form, that of which we do not necessarily know and probably won't know until it's time to know.
But please believe this is about to happen when she gets over there.
Yeah, we're not getting on the flight without Baggington Securitas.
We don't have to have Sasha Banks. Mercedes Varnado comes with a Disney tag attached.
I guarantee you there won't be any leaked photos of Sasha Banks before this bag is secured for Japan. I guarantee you she not finna live stream from Twitch and bust it open.
For a real one or a fake one.
For a real one, a fake one, or one that's pretending.
How about...
She not.
How about...
Oh, and shout out to Naomi, who was courtside with Jay Cargill at some game not that long ago.
Indeed. But how about this? My reason for thinking that it ain't over with yet is that for the first time ever at the same event, Machine Gun Karl Anderson will defend his never open weight title versus Tama Tonga. Also, for the first time ever, Karl Anderson represents the only person to ever be signed to WWE and compete for New Japan while signed to WWE at Wrestle Kingdom. That is got to be 100% the doing of Triple H, because Vincent Kennedy could never.
Not could never, would never.
And if that is happening, and we've seen, like, we know that this is happening, why is this too far-fetched to think that Sasha Banks can't re-sign to WWE prior to Wrestle Kingdom and be the first woman or first person of color to ever be signed to WWE and compete at Wrestle Kingdom? The press alone is worth it.
It's gonna be a Black History Month fun fact.
Man.
Well, I don't know, because like there were still tours of Japan, so I'm not gonna say she's gonna be the first.
No, a tour of Japan is just a talent loan. That we're talking about having two contracts.
You think she's gonna have an actual contract
with New Japan?
Like for more than one?
For more than one what?
For more than one date.
I would venture to think so.
I think this is just me. I think if Mercedes Varnado is making to Japan that half day, that's a one-off thing. Because of the magnitude of just how you explained it and what it would mean, that's a one and done thing. That's not something like, okay, we're gonna do it here, and we're gonna come back in 3 weeks, do it again, and then we'll wait 8 weeks and then come back and do it again. Like it doesn't feel like that sort of thing.
Okay, I'll give you that. There's one other looming cloud that hangs over WWE in January.
What the deal?
Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
We got a stadium show in San Antonio, Texas, where I have read that we will have both a men's and women's 40-person Royal Rumble this year.
It's just too many for no reason.
The last time that happened, the only thing that saved it from being a complete disaster
dud
was Santino Marella. And it was only because of comedy and entertainment value that happened. Outside of that, yeah, 40 people, way too much.
There's no need to do a 40-person.
Less is
Rumble.
more. If you can figure out how to bring in 20 people and make it last as long as a 30-person battle royal, and you make all the entrants matter, that's more impactful than a 40-person battle royal.
Do you have 40 people that mattered? Okay, without going to NXT, do you have 40 people on the roster to put in a Royal Rumble? And when I say put in a Royal Rumble, not just a warm body, but a person that you would put in the Royal Rumble that either serves the purpose of executing a comedy spot, is a real contender, or adds value to the match.
I'm going to say no.
That's all I'm saying.
Because when you start having a 40-person battle royal, you start breaking up tag teams. The minute you see two tag team competitors in the ring that's on the same squad, you know.
Just with the tag teams you see on television, like, okay, the bloodline is gonna be 4.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got both Usos, you got Sammy, Vanilla Us, and you got Solo. That's 4. Then you add
of those 4, only one of those can win. Continue.
I mean, not even trying to pick winners, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like this. I'm not trying to pick a winner either, but I'm saying, like, you put 4 people from the same faction into a team, into a battle royal. Only one of those people can win. The whole faction can't win.
Obviously stated, because there's one winner. But what I'm saying is, trying to get to whatever the desired number of entrants and competitors are. You can get 30. You can probably get 30 in your sleep.
I can't see. Well, God, yeah, I really hate to use this term. I really hate to use this term. I can't see the forbidden door being opened up just to pacify adding talents to the Royal Rumble. The only big name for the Royal Rumble, whether it be 20, 30, or 40 men that you could have that would matter to remotely close to matter for anybody to hop into that bitch, is Nick Aldis. He's the only person that's out there who hasn't been in WWE who could mean a big enough story. I don't even know if it means it equate to a pop, but a big enough story.
I got one for you.
Go ahead.
Peep this. Watch me with this pencil. The Great Muta. And a face-off with Shinsuke Nakamura to set up. No, actually, the Royal Rumble's on the 28th. So,
yeah, I was just about to say,
match with Shinsuke and Muta would have already happened, but that's some super cool shit to see happen. Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
because it's a first time thing. It's like a tribute to Muta, because they did, they had Jushin Thunder Liger.
He ran NXT
in NXT before he.
Yep.
Yeah, in NXT before he retired, and he was put into the WWE Hall of Fame, I do believe. Same thing with Muta. Like, he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Hands down.
Be a super cool moment. him and Shinsuke can have another situation. Neither one of them is going to be in a situation where it's thought that they're going to win the Royal Rumble. So
I'm not mad at seeing Muta at the Royal Rumble at all, especially in the face-off against Shinsuke.
To making every entrant in the Royal Rumble mean something important. Like, don't just trot somebody out there just to have a body. Like, let them mean something. Less is more in some of these situations. I don't need 40 people in the Royal Rumble to feel like this shit was going to be good. It's my favorite pay-per-view of the big five anyway.
It's Christmas.
They stopped.
It's literally Christmas for the wrestling fan.
Right. You get to unwrap a new gift every 3 minutes. Or 2.5 minutes, or whatever the timer is gonna be this year. But
I wish they make their fucking mind up. They be changing shit on the fly.
Yeah, it used to be 90 seconds, then it went to 2 minutes, then it's 3 minutes. It's like, fuck it. Whenever they decide to do the countdown. But I don't need filler. Don't give me a 40-song album with like 15 filler cuts. I don't need it. I don't want it. Like that, the mixed, because we did go through a mixtape era where 45, 50 songs was a thing. Or DJs will put together a triple disc set once a fucking month. Ain't that many fucking songs that you want to hear. But again, I'm getting off on a tangent. Just don't go fucking with shit that don't need to be fucked with.
Speaking of, while we're talking about money still, the WWE stock price took a little bit of a dip. We gonna smoke a dip. All of it, not a little bit. We gonna smoke a dip.
Jeez, bruh.
Yesterday on Tuesday, take a wild guess why.
Why the stock price dipped?
Yep.
Oh,
and this is totally opinion. This cannot be be proven. But a certain piece of news dropped.
Yeah. Keep your mind on them books and off them gals.
That boy Vincent Kennedy McMahon has an unauthorized documentary biography on Vice called The 9 Lives of Vince McMahon. And prior to this joint airing, a story broke in multiple outlets that he said that he is planning to make his return to WWE because he feels, and I'm paraphrasing, that the smoke has died down from his scandals from this summer. Suave.
So
I literally hung my head in shame when I said your name after stating that. It's today's Wednesday it's Wednesday the 14th.
No. I mean, the story came out
Tuesday the
right?
13th, yes.
So is that before or after the Wall Street Journal posted a story about another alleged sexual assault case from a new woman?
That depends on when that story aired, because I'm not aware of that one.
Dang. Ain't no coming back, bitch. This shit over with. This shit over with, champ. Finito.
Suave, let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
You're the CEO and president of a conglomerate that houses multiple entities, but you've made one famous, a household name, but you have a bunch of different mini companies under this umbrella. And me, your partner, your sahab, I'm not even a ranking official in the corporate hierarchy. I get active and cost you tens of millions of dollars. Fuck that. Fuck that. Tens of dollars.
No, tens of dollars you can shake back from.
Oh, okay.
Once you get to tens of thousands, tens of thousands is enough. But go ahead.
But I cost you tens of dollars.
Okay.
And I have made every woman in your organization, including your wife and child, uncomfortable with my presence.
You gotta go, fam.
For how long?
Yes.
So what you're saying is, for money that I can pay back.
Fuck the money. You made my wife and child uncomfortable. You must go and to the land of never to return.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been my TED questions.
Like fuck the money.
You
in the immortal words of Pimp C, if you play with my family or my money, I will kill you. Those are Pimp C's words, not mine.
This has nothing to do with what used to be yours. Because as a shareholder, sure, you can still say that you own. But this ain't your house anymore, cuz.
It's the house that you built, but like, okay.
I can't leave Connecticut, move to Florida, and go back to my Connecticut home that I have sold with the same keys and walk in, not wipe my feet and go straight to bed without the ability of the person who's living there and or owns the house now putting a gun to my forehead, squeezing the trigger in the name of the make my day law.
Castle law. So I get what you're saying. I'm looking at this as Vincent Kennedy. Okay. You watch The Wire. You remember when Marlo went in the convenience store?
Mm-hmm.
With the security guard?
Yes, sir.
For those of you who are inclined and up to date on the Swavetoberfest Plus series, you'll know because we've used this clip before. You want things to be one way, but it's the other way. Vincent Kennedy only knows one way, one speed. Work, work, work. And the one thing that he has worked on and been most successful at his entire life is the place he can't go back to. If he's not ready to cope with that and or replace that activity with a new one that he can put an equal amount of passion into, you're going to see him start to mentally unravel because he's literally in a living hell. I'm not saying this to say he's right, wrong, whatever for wanting to come back. I'm just explaining the circumstances that are likely at play. We know all the reasons why he should not come back, but he has just as many reasons as to why he should. And at the end of the day, he's always going to have the card to play that says, I started this WWE shit. And this the motherfucking thanks I get?
Boy.
Like if you told me I was purple, I would laugh because
like it, love it, whatever.
when I said you weren't an artist.
You can't take his name off. You can't take his name off this. Regardless of what happens, you can't take his name off of it. And that's the good, bad, and indifferent.
Back to money talk again.
More money.
Another bag fucked up.
Bruh. I just hate to see people waste money.
Matt Riddle has been written off of TV following a second positive pop on a drug test.
Syrup, painkiller, cigarettes, weed, Hennessy, vodka. He on everything. Everything. You got to kick them habits, fam. Like, they don't test for marijuana, so you can get as high as eagle dandruff if you want to.
Listen, that was the main reason it took so long for him to come to WWE was the weed. They laxed the policy because of him.
They laxed the policy due to Randy finding the cheat code. He's like, okay, it's gonna cost me this much every time I get fined for weed. I tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and pay the year in advance.
Because weed, bitch.
Randy outsmarted the system, and then all of a sudden the rules seemed really stupid.
Let's go ahead and remove weed from the testing policy.
Yeah, it's just not there anymore. We're not tested for weed.
But
most of the shit you can get live for, they don't test for.
But you want to get funky. You want to get live. You want to get funky.
You want to put the boot on it.
You want it to be sensitive and be and ski.
Jeez,
you can't be sensitive and ski, especially on the WWE dime. No, sir.
I mean,
he is.
There's an unrelated story. Well, I don't. It might be related now, but there's another story about him circulating, and I'm like, oh, those two things actually go together. So reportedly,
when it clicks,
reportedly, allegedly. So we have no liability about this statement. This is third-party information.
Shouts out to Jesus and Mero as I'm sprinkling the allegedlys across the board right now.
Yeah, all of those. Reportedly, the drug test, failed drug test, was for cocaine and MA. So Molly, coke. The separate story that came out about Senor Regal is that he, in the vein of being RVD 2.0, is now dating a porn star. I didn't go into detail or just like great research to figure out the name because I don't care.
Oh boy.
If you are dating a porn star, and like you just said, sensitive and ski, that seems like a logical connection, because the MDMA does what?
It makes you sensitive. It makes you want to engage in sexual activity.
And the cocaine does what?
Heightens your awareness and keeps you literally up all night. Woo!
I'm Suave Burgundy, and this has been my TED Talk.
Listen, put some respect on the name if you want to. Her name is Misha Montana.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
And they have been spotted on Instagram more than a few times.
I mean, he's just living.
You are
he literally is living. He's living Rob Van Dam's life.
It could not be any closer to reality than that. Yes, he is. He is Rob Van Dam Jr. He might need to go get a DNA test.
Bruh, if we don't get Rob Van Dam back on camera as soon as this rehab stint is up for a tag team, like fuck tagging with Elias. I want a tag team run of Riddle and Van Dam.
Can we at least get Riddle like on the left shoulder as like a conscience for like a month? It's just 4 weeks. It's all I want is 4 weeks of this. And they ain't even got to be in succession. They can just be spread across like 2 months if you want to do it that way. Let him be the green conscience.
Van Dam be the conscience on Riddle's shoulder?
Yes.
Fucking right. I love it. That might be the greatest booking you've ever done.
Do what I can for the people.
Oh my God, that is the greatest shit ever. So then you get Rob Van Dam in all white on one shoulder, and then Rob Van Dam in all red on the other shoulder. Yes,
it is.
Yes.
It is literally bro versus dude.
And then you shoot all because all these have to be pre-tapes. You shoot these. And like, you remember like the 70s show when they decided to go to the basement and smoke?
Oh, nothing but like you're circling the room and there's nothing but a cloud of fog.
and then you take castaways from the show and you make them the people that are in the room when he's smoking.
Everybody except for Danny Masterson, because fuck that guy.
Right. So we're gonna have Riddle. We'll put Tozawa in there.
R-Truth. You gotta have R-Truth in there.
Absolutely. R-Truth. Tamina.
Oh yeah.
I need Tamina in there because, like, just as a comedy, it's a curveball.
Orton's got to be red. He's got to be red for me.
Or we only dealing with the people smoking in the basement. Red never went downstairs and smoked with them like that.
Then in that case,
did he do it like one episode?
And he might have, but even if he's not, then he could be Ashton Kutcher's character.
So you can have Orton and Charlotte Flair upstairs smoking their own shit. But I think both Good Brothers would probably flourish in a segment like that.
Man.
I think Otis being in the circle one time would be funny as shit.
Otis,
like it can be literally a rotation of people that are in and out of the smoking circle because we're just trying to pass the blunt around so Riddle's high enough to see Rob Van Dam.
You know who would be like, like truth be told, just even if he did it just for like a one-time deal, not in the same episode, but Rhea Ripley, and also Finn Balor.
Oh, bruh, him smoking with Judgment Day.
Yeah, I guess you can do all of them, really.
That's fucking hilarious.
The OC, you can have him do one with the OC. You might want to do all the factions. That might just be like that could single-handedly be about 2 months worth of TV, just sessions with all the factions. Hit Row.
Oh my God. Smoking with the Street Profits.
Oh man.
It's gonna send the wrong message, so this shit's gonna get shot down immediately. But like,
I was about to say, because Bianca would be perfect for that, especially since she being there with Tez.
It's fucking hilarious. You pass the blunt one week and it's JBL and Corbin.
With a special guest appearance by Ron Simmons. Damn.
You fucking around and say Corey Graves has the night off, and then he's getting the blunt passed from Riddle. Booker T. Who else? Like this, you could put anybody, and that would never get old. It's just the thing about it, marijuana, and it wouldn't last, but it would be the funniest shit. Maybe they can do it on YouTube. maybe they can do it on YouTube and maybe not get the same backlash.
I mean, just to how R-Truth stole Omos's wallet while Omos was awake wearing some damn aviators.
Bro, do you know I would watch a 10-piece of those segments? Like, he passed the blunt one week in his fucking MVP and Omos.
Man.
Like, there's nobody he can't pass the blunt to. Dolph Ziggler, maybe Austin Theory one week. Well, they ride in the car together, so shit. Yeah, you might want to get out that car. You might want to hop out that car, boy. You gonna fuck your future up.
Oh man. And then on top of that, back to Japan real quick. Your boy Karl. Oh, we already talked about Karl Anderson already doing this thing.
Japan.
Yeah,
we did that.
Yeah, we ain't gotta worry about that.
Did that, Shouter.
Back to Orlando then.
Okay.
On top of having a new NXT Women's Champion, your winners and new NXT Tag Team Champions.
Tag Team back again.
Your boys, the New Day.
Straight like that.
Man, they are the official. Actually, are they the only Triple Crown Tag Team champs?
No. Street Profits and FTR also hold that.
Hey, there we go. Look at you getting active there, Suave. I appreciate the backup on that.
Hey, anytime.
7-star FTR. Can't forget them. Speaking of FTR, quick rundown of ROH and we can get the hell up out of here. FTR lost.
It's damn near in Dudley territory, so we might as well send them to Impact so they can pick up another set.
I mean, might as well. they lost the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. So your winners, ROH World Tag Team Champions, them boys, the Briscoes.
Like it. Got to see Gang on pay-per-view.
A double dog collar match, bruh.
Oh, a whole lot of fucking gang shit.
We did see Gang get active.
Listen, I do know that with no build and an announcement 3 days before the pay-per-view, once they said double dog collar match, this shit was going to be the show stealer. Anything involving FTR is high quality content. When it's FTR and the Briscoes, it's must watch.
And do you realize that they have been in the ring together a total of 3 times, two of which in suburban Dallas, Texas.
3 instant classics.
Man, and
God bless Texas, because we lucky as shit.
These, if you look at a 90s hip hop artist, right? We can go DMX, we can go Redman, we can go Mobb Deep, we can go Nas. Any of these artists with 3 or more albums. I'll even go so far as to say DOS Effects. The first album, balls to the wall, straight bangers, classic album. The second album, as good as the first, but you have a lifetime to make your first album. You got 6 months to make your second, and the second album usually feels darker, but is equally as impactful and as powerful as the first album, even if it doesn't go with the critical acclaim of the first album. But by that third album, you got a little bit of money behind you, right? You can kind of do some things with the production budget. You can make your engineering, the technology has changed. Things have progressed to the advantage of both the artist and the fan, which translates to a crispier, more colorful album. That's FTR and the Briscoes, 1, 2, and 3.
I mean, it sucks that we weren't able to put this on AEW television. I think it would have helped a lot of things that were going on. I will say this. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I will say this. I do love the fact that they actually showed the Briscoes putting on the double dog collars during AEW Dynamite. I will say that. Cool. So one small step for mankind, or
just a little bit.
Another 2 Dion steps for Mick Foley. See what I did there?
Somewhere Terry Funk is smiling from ear to ear.
Your mother's a whore.
You dick sucking dog.
I gotta go. My horse is sick. So definitely thankful that we were able to be live and in person for one. The third of the 3-pack we opted out on for Baggington Securitas. Yeah, like, it's crazy, like, match of the year candidates. Like, you have 3 entries for match of the year candidate.
You also have them individually as wrestlers of the year, an FTR individually.
Fam.
And you don't have to give it to Cash, but Dax deserves the nomination.
Dax deserves to be top 3, no matter what happens. No matter what happens and how that vote comes down, Dax should be one of the first 3 names, and I'm very much under the impression that Dax should be number 1.
Man, matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna do this here, and we do have an award show coming up in January.
Our award show gonna be lit.
Don't expect to hear popular opinion. This ain't about you.
If you're expecting popular opinion, you downloaded the wrong podcast.
Suave, I'm gonna tell you now. You better get active with the graphics, bro, because we gonna hand them shits out on social media.
Yeah, I got some. I mean, you know,
Man.
supplies will always bring demand.
And speaking of supplies, I don't think I haven't forgot. I gotta pay up on my bet.
Yeah, you have a bet to atone for.
Coming soon. Real quick on the rundown, we go through the winners because every belt changed hands, so I'm not going to keep doing and new. We have Mascara Dorado, formerly Lindsay Dorado, being defeated by Jeff Cobb in the pre-show or the 0 hour, if you will. Angelo Parker, Matt Menard took on Cheeseburger and Eli Isom, aka Shinobi Shadow Squad. JAS1. Willow Nightingale defeated Trisha Dora. This is our second time seeing Trisha Dora. We actually saw her live a couple years ago. I don't know if you remember that, but she has toned up tremendously since we saw her last in person. Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin take on The Kingdom, Matt Taven and Matt Bennett, and win by pinfall. Top Flight does. That takes you out of the 0 hour. Go catch that on YouTube. It's for the free. Oh, we got some ROH news too. Then we can get out of here. Outside of this, Blake Christian and AR Fox defeated LFI, but then there was a bad count. Roosh decides to take matters to his own hands because the referee screwed up count, and he beat the shit out of both of them dudes and got suspended for a week for his troubles. Athena, ROH new women's world heavyweight champion, or women's world champion. Damn, excuse me. Defeated Mercedes Martinez. Swerve and Our Glory is Strictly, aka Strictly Business. Swerve and Keith Lee defeat STP Shane Taylor Promotions after Swerve walks out on Keith Lee. That story, they're not done with that yet. They're not done with that at all. The Embassy took on Dalton Castle and the boys and are now your new ROH World 6-Man Tag Team Champions. Wheeler Yuta defeated Daniel Garcia by ref stoppage in a Pure Rules Championship match that lasted right around 15 minutes. Wheeler Yuta used all of his closed punches in less than 5 minutes. And also I think all his rope breaks too within like the first 5 minutes. So that was kind of crazy to see that, and he still came out on top. We already told you about FTR and the Briscoes. The king of television, Samoa Joe, defeated Juice Robinson. You didn't think anything else about that one. And then the most surprising winner of the night is your winner and new ROH World Champion, Claudio Castagnoli, defeating Chris Jericho with, I believe, 40 Superman swings. That's crazy.
I mean, it is lit. I mean, look, 40 is fucking lit. I just,
I was skeptical about the show until they started naming off all these matches. Even though it was last minute, this was a hell of a show. Like go ahead.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah,
I feel like Briscoe's FTR 3 should have closed that show.
Easily the match of the night. It's not even a question that was a match of the night.
I get the booking of saying, world title goes on last. Totally understand it. If the champion was anybody other than Chris Jericho, I'd be 100% behind it.
With the exception of the Athena match, I really think that the top half of the top part of this card where the champions was booked like a rap concert. I'm sorry, not a rap concert. I'm sorry, like a boxing or mixed martial arts card would be built.
And of course, I'm always 100% down for seeing the king of television get active.
Come on, man.
Okay, let's keep it real. At no point before last Wednesday did we have any internal conversations about ordering Final Battle.
In fact, we did who ain't gonna win for YouTube purposes only, and shorted the damn card because it wasn't complete yet.
We had to come back and add shit. But shout out to our YouTube exclusive, and shout out to the listeners
finish
for going.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'll say shout out to our first YouTube exclusive content, and shout out to the people that poured out of the trees to go see it.
Yeah, man.
Numbers is running the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, expect more of that. We appreciate you.
Facts. So, but internally, now when we first figured out where Final Battle was and the close proximity that we would be to that area, we had every intention of going.
Dog, you, no cap. You stay 5 minutes from this fucking arena.
Yeah, if I get all green lights.
Still,
I'm in close enough proximity. Just the whole thing is like, we were planning to go. The bag came calling, and when the bag calls, we answer. So, but that was when we first knew. We didn't know what the card was. Hell, almost no one knew what the card was till about 2 weeks out. Nothing about the card that we knew said, we gotta be here. We gotta be here.
That was more of a business decision to go.
Right.
At the point that we decided that we were going, it had nothing to do with what was on the card.
Right. Exactly. Because, you know, we're conducting business here. Some of these other yahoos are just fucking around. But
and as the great Suave Burgundy once said, I refuse to go back and forth with you goofy motherfuckers.
Did I say that in a song or episode?
You said that on episode 27 of EWAV.
Okay, I was like, damn, what song is that from? Now I'm gonna have to say it. But yeah, once we figured out we weren't gonna be in attendance, we were hesitant about buying the paper. I didn't check to see how much it cost, literally, until we hear about FTR Briscoe's 3 double dog collar match. To which, what was it, like Friday? I messaged you like, what's up? We getting this or what?
I just said, yeah, because this is what we do. And now, even with the double dog collar, I'm still skeptical.
$40.
When?
Like, they got off with that. Like, no cap. Like, if you took, and I heard another podcast say this, so I am borrowing. But if you take FTR Briscoe's 3 off of this card, it's an episode of Rampage.
Absolutely. Wow.
And when I heard it, I was like, damn, you right.
So the question here is, do you give a bonus to Briscoe's FTR? Because we've also found out.
You absolutely should. If there are pay-per-view bonuses going out, FTR and the Briscoes should have a pay-per-view bonus. No question. No discussion.
I will say I have seen, or I'm sorry, I have heard, I don't know if it's true or not, because, you know, there's always cap in this kind of thing, but this was the largest grossing Final Battle from a gate standpoint in attendance in the history of Ring of Honor. That's going back almost 20 years.
Well, considering Final Battles were typically always in New York, maybe they might have had a few in Chicago, and the venues were much smaller, I can totally believe that. I certainly would believe it from a pay-per-view standpoint, because I don't know a Ring of Honor pay-per-view that's ever cost $40.
I think
maybe the one earlier this year,
right? And before that, because they've been on Honor Club forever for what, 20? And that reminds me, Ring of Honor is coming back to Honor Club. $9.99 per month. Pay-per-views will be available within 90 or after 90 days from the airing date for that same $9.99 per month. And for that $9.99 per month, you get access to the entire Ring of Honor catalog.
How do you feel about this?
It's one home for all the content. You can't say that about any organization right now. Even Impact, there's some holes, but actually Impact might be the only other place. If I'm being honest, Impact may be the only other place where you can get consistency and storyline from conception to current day.
Now they still had a thing where you had a delay on the pay-per-view payoffs, so that's a thing too.
Well, not just that. I'm just talking about like going back and checking it. Like if you want to go find out the roots of Ring of Honor from the very beginning, Like you can't do that on the WWE network for WWE. For world class, you can't do it for. You can't damn sure can't do it for Mid South UWF. You damn sure can't do it for Mid Atlantic. You damn sure can't do it for Georgia Championship because that's not even on there. You can't get Stampede on there. It was on there for a whole 2 days before they pulled that shit down. Like there's Impact and Ring of Honor, and that's pretty much it.
Well, both of those companies are only 20 years old. So with WWE, how far are you trying to go back? You trying to go back to the 50s when it was Vince Senior, or are you trying to go from?
I mean, you can go you can go capital like the championship wrestling days, like the 1970s when Vince took over. Vince Jr. became an announcer. If you want to do that,
I'm sure at some point you would get that. No, I was just because you said you can't go back to the beginning of WWF, and I'm like, exactly how far are we trying to go back?
Like that. I'll even want to question like the breaking lineage. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know if WWE or WWF even had a break. AWA, I don't even know if you can go back to the beginning of AWA, but like they had 2 heydays. They had a heyday in the 70s and one in the 80s.
I feel what you're saying, but I also look at it like, if you're gonna try to go back to show 1, episode 1, you really only have that ability, like foolproof ability. You only really have that with the 2 you named, and possibly the transition from NWA to WCW.
From WCW day 1, yes, that is very possible because they weren't a touring brand at the time. No, I'm sorry. They were, and they stopped touring. That's
but
when
there's
they went
also
to center stage.
there's also a lot of WCW programming missing from the network right now, or missing from Peacock.
Boy,
because like you don't have any of the syndicated. You don't have the worldwide.
You don't have NWA Pro.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of
even Championship Wrestling from Florida when they
main event that would come on Sundays here in the area. So that, I mean, there's a lot of different stuff missing, and there's holes and all type of stuff, but. Yeah. Just are you willing to add another streamings? Are you that big of a fan of Ring of Honor, what they've done in the past and what is potentially coming in the future? Are you big enough of a Ring of Honor fan to put another $10 into your streaming service budget?
Me? Hell no, because I'm already watching enough TV as it is. The last thing I want to do is go back and see some shit that I ain't watched.
I mean, it's a tax write-off, but yes.
Like just my regular TV watching right now alone. I mean, hell, BMF Blowing Money Fast, that is, just ended.
Coming back.
Blowing Money Fast just ended.
Documentary.
Yeah. The BMF the series comes back in January. Yellowstone is at fever pitch.
Man, I just started from season 1, episode 1. So yeah,
of Yellowstone.
Yup,
bro. I was watching passively with my wife from season 4. I'm all in on season 5, and so I'm going back to watch seasons 1, 2, and 3 on the break.
Bro, season 1, episode 1. I'm in from like first 20 minutes.
I'm watching Tulsa King right now for obvious reasons. And it's a fire ass show. The king of the mayor of Kingstown comes back in January. We're still awaiting season 2 of Heels.
Another show on Stars that is like, it's complete bullshit, but it's like the car wreck you can't look away from.
Talk to me.
Step Up High Water. So, okay, I will put this disclaimer on there. If you are entertained by music-based shows that have a lot of original music in them, even something to the effect of possibly like an Empire, or give me another show that's in the same vein.
Empire soured me.
Because it went overboard.
This isn't quite overboard. There's a country version of Empire that kind of intrigues me that just came out.
Facts. Give me another. Down in the valley.
P Valley.
Yeah, P Valley. So even like that, there's a lot of original music. It's music themed. It's music based. The soundtrack is what brings the content forward. So it's that type of situation. With Step Up High Water, it's a it's a transition from a YouTube series to being a full scale running series. There are inconsistencies, like with any fucking show, but the entertainment value can be there if you're willing to sacrifice a couple of hang-ups.
I can dig it. Without saying everything, you're saying a lot.
Right. Now, if you're a person that makes music for a living or has ever done it at any level above novice, there are going to be some things that fucking irk you. But other than that, if you into messy TV, absolutely. That's more so what it's for. If you're into messy TV, watch it.
Speaking of more TV, as we wind down from actually probably gonna happen like right in the middle of BMF, the return and the final season of Snowfall is coming to us.
I built this shit brick by brick.
Yeah, Franklin broke right now too. Can't wait to see how that ends up.
Ooh, it's gonna be rough outside,
man. What else? I think that's it for the moment, and we still don't know what's going on with Powers Book 5 Season 2, Book 5 Season 1.
We don't know what's happening with the Power universe right now.
Yeah.
50 has got some shit going on.
Yeah, so Book 5 Season 1 we're overdue on its release. Book 2 Season 3, Book of Canaan, which is Book 3 Season 3 is coming is upon us at sometime around then, and of course Force Season 2, Book 4 Season 2, we're still waiting on it too. So yeah, it's
the fact that you know which book is which, that's phenomenal. I don't even identify them like that.
Yeah, I just when you like some shit, you like some shit.
This factual one, I like it. I just be like, either I might say Force, be like, hey,
the one with Tariq, shit. The one with Tommy, the one with Kanan as a youngin.
Yeah. What? Let's see what Tommy got popping in the week. It really be like that.
Yeah, man.
And hey, if y'all got show recommendations, hey, give them the social so they know where to send us show recommendations.
Show at brokenpencilbc.com, brokenpencilbc@gmail.com, on all things social at brokenpencilbc. So that's at brokenpencilbc on what? Everything. Shouts out to Pencil Pusher Blake Wellman. Him and his son were at Dynamite tonight, and also shouts out to. Hold on, let me throw the proper respects on this.
Whole lot of fucking gang shit.
Alexander K and Payday, who you can expect to see on an episode of BPBC real soon. Suave, I dropped the jewel there. I said expect to see on BPBC real soon.
Hey, shout out to the Embassy, Samoa Joe, all the talent that was on Ring of Honor Final Battle rocking gang colors. That was not a coincidence.
yeah, bitch, it's like we outside.
It was a whole section of people in the crowd that had broken pencil green on. It's like, this shit don't really seem like a coincidence. Like, everybody's not gonna get the same gear made and not know about it.
I mean, we are active. People in the industry know us.
It's almost like they knew where they were.
It's almost like they were expecting us to be around them. Coming soon.
Sorry to air quotes disappoint.
Sorry about your damn luck. Suave.
That's who can smoke with Riddle too.
Yo,
James Storm.
Get the OC together. Have James Storm as like a hook.
Hey, speaking of James Storm and Cruz and Clicks, healthy get well mending wishes for Bobby Roode, who just had some serious surgery.
Man, yes,
and also for Richard Halliday.
Who
was battling the C word fight.
Very, very big shouts out and get well soon to Richard Halliday, one of the most hilarious assholes to ever grace a wrestling ring.
You think Max is funny? I got another one for you.
He makes Max look like a fucking Boy Scout, man. Get well soon. And also from the hip hop side of things, rest in peace to my guy Ayub, Granddaddy Ayub. Rest in peace, brother.
Facts.
Yeah, man. That we can do it from there, man. Suave, take it to the house, man.
Shout out to Bun B with his super hilarious ass. I am a victorious individual, and soon his avatar will change. Right now, him and Static Selector got a new project out. So
Trill Static 2 available on all streaming platforms right now.
Get it. I'm finna get into it pretty soon. So I'm letting that cook.
It's fine.
I'm letting that cook. But do know, I won. And I will collect on my winnings.
In the name of the pimp.
Man, say.
All right, there
Bond
it is.
number 9.
I do not play. Oh, coming soon.
Do not
too.
play.
Yeah, man.
Dakota, you tried to sabotage and railroad me, but you will not succeed.
Now we can take him to the house.
Suavetoberfest. Yeah, now we can do it. All right, set it up.
Suave.
Yeah.
Lob is in the air. Take him to the house.
Pencil pushers. Heads up. Pencils down.
And slide in. Swish.
New day. Every once in a while, this is how we sling again.